Picture this. It's 2 a.m. Your eyes are heavy. You've got 6 more hours on your shift. You're standing in front of the break room vending machine, staring at a row of energy drinks. In your other hand, your trusty coffee mug. Which one do you reach for? If you're a night shift worker, you've probably had this exact moment more times than you can count. And here's the thing. Most of us are getting our caffeine strategy completely wrong. I'm talking headaches at the end of your shift, crashes at the worst possible time, and that weird jittery feeling where you're exhausted and wired at the same time. Today, we're settling this debate once and for all. Coffee versus energy drinks for night workers. But more importantly, I'm going to show you the exact caffeine strategy that'll keep you alert all night without destroying your sleep when you get home. Let's dive in. So first, let's talk about what's actually happening in your body when you work nights. Your body has this internal clock called your circadian rhythm. It's like a 24-hour timer that tells every cell in your body when to be awake and when to sleep. And for most of human history, that meant being awake during the day and asleep at night. But as a night shifter, you're basically asking your body to run backwards, and your brain is not happy about it. Here's where caffeine comes in. When you're awake, your brain produces a chemical called adenosine. Think of adenosine as your brain's sleepiness signal. The longer you're awake, the more adenosine builds up, and the sleepier you feel. Caffeine is basically adenosine's evil twin. It slides into the same receptors in your brain that adenosine would normally use, blocking them. Your brain can't receive the "you're tired" signal, so you feel more alert. Pretty cool, right? But here's the catch, and this is where most night workers mess up. Caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. That means if you drink a big dose of caffeine at the wrong time, half of it is still in your system when you're trying to sleep in the morning. And that's just the beginning of the story. Let's break down coffee first. A standard 8-ounce cup of coffee has about 95 milligrams of caffeine. But here's what makes coffee interesting for night workers. The pros. Coffee gives you a steady, predictable energy boost. It kicks in about 15 to 45 minutes after you drink it. It's hydrating. Yes, coffee is mostly water, and despite what you've heard, it doesn't dehydrate you. There are actual health benefits. Coffee is loaded with antioxidants and has been linked to reduced risks of certain diseases. It's usually cheaper. Brew a pot at work, and you're spending pennies per cup. The cons. The caffeine content can vary wildly depending on how it's brewed. That gas station coffee might have 150 milligrams, while your home brew might only have 80. It can upset your stomach, especially on an empty stomach during a night shift. If you're adding cream and sugar, you're loading up on calories that can make you crash later. Now here's a pro tip for night workers. Cold brew coffee actually has more caffeine than regular hot coffee, sometimes up to 200 milligrams per cup. And it's easier on your stomach because it's less acidic. But the real secret with coffee? It's all about timing, which I'll get to in a minute.
Now let's talk energy drinks. A standard energy drink like Red Bull has about 80 milligrams of caffeine in an 8-ounce can. Monster has about 160 milligrams in a 16-ounce can. Some of those extreme ones? Over 300 milligrams. But energy drinks aren't just caffeine. They're a cocktail of ingredients. The pros, they work fast. Because of the added ingredients like taurine and B vitamins, you feel the energy boost quicker, sometimes in as little as 10 minutes. They're convenient. Grab and go. No brewing required. The variety is endless. If you're bored of coffee, there are literally hundreds of flavors. The cons. Sugar bombs. A single energy drink can have 50 plus grams of sugar. That's more than a can of soda, and that means a nasty crash is coming. Even the sugar-free ones are loaded with artificial sweeteners that can mess with your gut. They're expensive. At $3 to $4 per can, drinking 2 a night adds up to over $2,000 a year. The caffeine content isn't regulated as strictly as you'd think. Some drinks don't accurately list how much caffeine they actually contain. Here's the scariest part. Energy drinks often contain other stimulants besides caffeine. Guarana, for example, is basically just more caffeine under a different name. So a drink might say 160 milliliters of caffeine, but actually deliver 200 plus milligrams when you factor in everything else. That's where people get into trouble, especially on night shifts when you're drinking multiple servings.
All right, so which one wins? Coffee or energy drinks? Here's the truth. It's not about which one is better. It's about strategy. Let me give you the framework that actually works for night shift workers. The timing rule. Don't consume caffeine in the first hour of your shift or in the last 3 to 4 hours. I know that sounds backwards, but hear me out. When you first start your shift, your cortisol levels are naturally elevated. That's your body's natural alertness hormone. Drinking caffeine during this time doesn't help. You're wasting it. Wait 60 to 90 minutes into your shift. Then have your first dose of caffeine. You'll get way more benefit. And stopping 3 to 4 hours before your shift ends? That's so the caffeine is mostly out of your system when you need to sleep. The dosing rule. Instead of 1 or 2 large doses, go with smaller, frequent doses. This is called caffeine napping or microdosing. Instead of a giant energy drink at the start of your shift, try this. Hour 1 to 2. Wait. Drink water. Hour 2 to 3. Small coffee. 8 oz or half an energy drink. Hour 4 to 5. Another small dose. Hour 6 to 7. Final small dose. Hour 8 plus. Water only. This keeps your blood caffeine levels steady instead of spiking and crashing. The combination rule. Here's a game changer. Combine coffee with a 20-minute power nap. Scientists call this a coffee nap. Drink a cup of coffee, then immediately take a 20-minute nap. The caffeine kicks in right as you wake up, and you get the benefits of both. It sounds weird, but it's the most effective alertness strategy ever studied. The hydration rule. For every caffeinated drink, have a glass of water. Dehydration makes you feel just as tired as lack of sleep. Most night, workers are chronically dehydrated and don't even realize it. My personal recommendation: use coffee as your primary caffeine source. It's cheaper, more predictable, and easier on your body. Save energy drinks for true emergencies, those nights when you're absolutely dragging and need a quick boost. And when you do use them, go for the sugar-free versions and treat them like medicine, not a beverage. 1 energy drink per shift, maximum. The rest of the time, coffee and water. Look, working night shifts is tough enough without fighting against your own caffeine strategy. Your body is already working overtime to stay alert when every cell is screaming at you to sleep. The last thing you need is a caffeine approach that's making it harder. So here's what I want you to do. Try this strategy for 1 week. Just 7 shifts. Time your caffeine, dose it smaller and more frequently. Stay hydrated, and see how you feel. I'm willing to bet you'll have fewer crashes, better focus, and you'll actually sleep better when you get home. And if you're serious about mastering the night shift life, not just surviving it, but actually thriving, head over to nightshiftershub.com. We've got detailed guides on everything from sleep optimization to meal planning for night workers. We've got a community of thousands of night shifters sharing what works and what doesn't, and we're constantly putting out content specifically designed for people like us who work while the world sleeps. Also, smash that subscribe button right now. We release new videos every week covering everything you need to know about night shift life, health, productivity, mental wellness, career growth, all of it. Drop a comment below and let me know. Are you team coffee or team energy drinks? And what's your current caffeine strategy? I read every single comment, and I'd love to hear what's working for you. Remember, night shift doesn't have to destroy your health. You just need the right strategies. I'll see you in the next video. Stay alert out there, night shifters.